The Nadia Sahari Show. The Nadia Sahari Show.
Good evening. This is Nadia Sahari, and you're listening to the Nadia Sahari Show. It is March 13th, 2019. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness, it's already the middle of March. And we all have a dream, and we have a dream to write a book, we have a dream to act in a movie, or we want a record label for our song. This is what this show is all about. To help you, to motivate, and to inspire you. To help me do this, I invite guests on my show that are successful, that will give you the best tips to becoming successful and living the life of your dreams. And my guest today is someone very famous, and I know you've heard him and you've seen him, and I've seen him, and he's sort of a friend. I met him 8 years ago, and we just went over some things that people that we know and everything. And it's a delight, and it's a pleasure and an honor to have Steve Cooke on my show. I'm so happy to have you, Steve Cooke. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. Good evening.
Good evening. And Steve Cooke, you are British New Zealand singer, songwriter, actor, and you live in Los Angeles.
I do, yes. I'm fortunate enough to live here in Beverly Hills. I've been here for over a decade now.
Wow, a decade. I lived there, about 8 years in West Hollywood.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Yes, it is.
I love it.
Yes, and I think you're marvelous. I met you and your beautiful wife and went to your venues and listened to your music and saw your band and everything. It was wonderful. And you have quite a voice, and it's amazing. It's a beautiful voice, and you've performed with your band members, other band members of Simple Minds, The Who, Brand X. Tell us a little bit about all these people that you performed with.
Well, my journey was quite long. My father was a musician from England, born in Liverpool, and I made my journey from New Zealand, where I was born, back to the United Kingdom when I was a teenager.
Wow.
And, I was very fortunate to get picked up by a keyboard player called Robin Lumley, who was played in a band called Brand X with Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. And back in those days, I was young Steve. So one could say that London was very kind to me, and that's where I sort of did my initial teething in professional rock and roll.
Wow. That's amazing. And you played with Tom Petty.
No, I didn't play with him personally. I worked with the drummer, Steve.
Oh, with
Verona.
drummer. Okay, cool.
I met Steve, who's also English, from Brighton, Hove, and I met him here in the USA.
Wow.
Many years after my my initial professional setup in the United Kingdom.
Cool. Wow, that's great. Now, you also have acting credits.
Yes, that's
Tell us
right.
about that.
I got my first professional break in London. I did a lot of amateur theatre in Henley-on-Thames at a wonderful theatre called the Kenton Theatre, which is where I met Kate and Annie Winslet, and we were in a production called Godspell. So I did a lot of amateur theatre there and pantomime, and with these wonderful connections, I was taken to London one day to rehearse and get ready to do an audition in the West End. So anyway, long story short, I did the audition in the West End and managed to get a principal role in the New York Broadway musical Hair.
I know, that's great.
Yeah, that was my first professional contract. That's the first time actually where I understood what a recall was, and I did the recall, and managed to get the contract, and off to Europe I went. And that was my first kind of involvement with Americans, guys that were from famed school. And that's when I thought to myself, yeah, I really want to come to the US. So that was kind of like the beginning of that journey in theatre. And then that later went into screen.
Wow.
Which was quite, it's different from doing theatre and then going into television.
Yes.
They're two kind of separate beasts.
Yes.
But I made the transition, and thankfully I still have my hand in both fields.
Yes. And I understand that because I started out in plays myself, and it is different. And then when you go on set to do a movie, which I've done as well, it's totally different. And because in the theater, you have your voice carry all the way to the end of the room so that make sure everybody hears you. And when you're doing a movie, you don't do that.
No, I love musicals. I was fortunate enough to do a rendition of Tommy by The Who, which was a lot of fun, where I played many different characters.
Uh-huh.
So, and I learned, at quite a young age about projection, vocal projection.
Yes.
The director went
right
to the back of the theatre. And
there's
a big difference between vocal projection and shouting. They're two separate entities.
That's right. That's right. Boy, it's been so long. I couldn't even think of the word projection. It's been so long. That was so many years ago. And you also, as of late, you were in a Netflix series with Rob Schneider. Tell us about that.
It was, that was a quite a great journey.
Uh-huh.
I went and did the audition, and initially I didn't recognize him.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down and read through the script and went through it with him. I was playing the character of Paul McCartney's guitarist, Dusty Lane.
Mm.
And I did the audition, and he said, "That's perfect. Just do it like that. You've got the job." So that was great, and it's just come out. It's the second season. It's called Real Rob, and my episode is episode 3. But I'm in very good company because he's got Adam Sandler and Michael Madsen involved, as well as some other very funny people.
Wow.
I'd recommend it. It's a good watch.
I was in a movie with Michael Madsen and Francesco Quinn, and in a movie called Corruption.gov. And yes, Francesco Quinn, of course, is no longer with us. That was Anthony Quinn's son. And,
right.
Yes, and Michael Madsen, yes, absolutely. I was on set with him for, I don't know, a few days. He's quite a character.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Yes, he is. So, now your career highlights. You performed for His Royal Highness Prince Charles, William, and Harry. That's
correct, and that was through a polo event. It's called the Chakravarti Cup, and it's in Gloucestershire, and that was quite hilarious. It was the first time that had live entertainment, during a polo match. It was kind of like at half time. Mm-hmm. So I learned a lot about polo and how it began actually in the 900s. I suppose it goes back. It's a very old game. So yeah, I played there live, and the Prince came back and he said, "Oh, that was a jolly good performance." I said, "Thank you very, very much." He said, "I thought it was a CD." And I had to explain, no, I was actually singing live. So, and William and Harry, he was playing, Prince Charles was playing against his sons, and the boys won, which was which was great. So, yes, it was a wonderful day. We were all drinking Pimm's and being rather jolly.
Oh.
But
That's great.
to this day, he has a lot of entertainment there now. It was wonderful to be the first. I'm delighted that I'm still actually on the official website, because Ronnie Wood's played there from the Rolling Stones.
Oh,
and
yes.
Michael Hutchinson, he's performed there from Simply Red. So it's become quite a prestigious event now. And it's really, really great to be able to have rock and roll and polo.
Wow, that's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
we have two of your songs that we want to play, and I'm going to play the first one, which is The Light is Green.
Yes.
I want to play that, and then we're going to come back and we're going to ask you about it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Here's Steve Cooke with The Light is Green.
Walking on my way from in between. I see a sister, she's crying. She says, love, brother, man, you know it's dying. Well, I say, hey now, sister, I know now just what you mean. Oh, when is it love? I wanna green, oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's when the light is green.
Wow, I love that song. That is amazing. I love it, Steve.
Oh, thank you.
And recently you were nominated for this single at the Hollywood Music Media Awards.
Yes, that's right. It was wonderful to be able to have that accolade, and it was also a lot of fun to make the video.
Wow, I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. And you previously won an award for the best rock song for Working for the USA, which we're going to play later.
Yes, that was way back in 2009 for Americana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. I love it. I love that song. I'm going to have to play it again. And so you have a latest release called California Girls Like to R&R.
Yes, that's right. California Girls Like to Rock and Roll. We've just released that for the spring. You know, the clocks went back on Sunday. So,
okay.
You know what it's like in LA. It's just suddenly
Yes.
somebody flicks the switch and it's
Yes.
summer. So that's
Yes.
kind of our summer song. And there's two versions of that. There's a 3-minute version for radio, and then there's the long extended version, which is 5 minutes long. So the first edit of that is for all of the folks with those short attention spans.
Well, I'd like to know what inspired you to write or to sing Light is Green. Did you write the song?
I did, yes. I play the guitars and stuff on that. Basically, the story behind Light is Green is to be able to empower women and to respect women. And if she says no, no means no, but then when the light is green, then that's a clear sign. So it's like in the lyric. I see my sister, she's crying. She says, "Love, brother, man is dying." And basically, I think we need a lot more love between men and women, and this whole nonsense and craziness that we're living through in this time. So it's just a bit of a shout out to guys to make sure that you have to understand when the light's green. And if it's not green, then it's red, and red means stop,
Stop. I like that analogy. I never thought of. That is fabulous.
I like to use metaphor. It's quite interesting because some people listen to the song and they think I'm singing about marijuana, It's quite hilarious.
Well, I like that. That is really great. I like that thought. I'll have to remember that. So I might have to get a green poster and a red poster. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's a little bit like the internet has kind of watered down what love really means. And to try and get through to the millennials, it's a different approach. Like a lot of my earlier writing, I have an album out actually called Songs from the Last Century, and that's from my back catalogue. And, it was a different world back then.
Yes, it was.
Compared to how the world is now.
Yes.
It's a whole different generation that you need to appeal to and get across to. So I hope that I'm doing that in that track, because a lot of younger people do like it, and it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek as well. I don't like to sort of get too much involved in politics or anything like that, because, music is all about having a good time.
Yes. I wish a lot of people would leave politics out of things like sports and music and acting in the movies, and, just do the entertainment and just have fun. And it's enough that we have to listen to the bad news every day, and the world is a mess, and we see it, and to keep on hearing it and seeing it, and there's no relief, and it's a constant, the same thing over and over and over. You just need some relief. You need some entertainment relief.
Yeah, that's right. I think a job for an artist is to be able to take the listener on a journey, to take them
Yes.
away from their problems and
Yes.
and leave it up to the listener to interpretate the song. It's like
Yes.
hilarious. Some people listen to the music for years and they hear lyrics that they haven't heard before, and then they understand things quite differently. I've had a few fans find back catalogue songs and say, oh, wow, I really get what you mean now. I didn't understand when I was younger, because
Yes.
they don't really listen to the lyrics. I think
Yes.
lyrics are a bit of a dying art these days. So,
Yes. Yes.
but, you know, the millennials grow up, they get older, and they find an album from years ago, and then they listen to it, and then
Yes.
they appreciate it,
Yes.
which is great. Yeah.
Yes. Sort of like the hippies in the 60s. And, you know, they were into the long hair. And, I mean, some of us still have long hair. I mean, you have long hair, and I know men who have long hair, and I love the long hair on men. But in the 60s, a lot of people had it, and they said they would never cut their hair. And now the businessmen that are in their 60s have short hair. They've cut their hair because it's a different world. The world changes. The generations change. People change. And it's just different requirements. But today it's a little different too. There's like everything now. It's like a variety of everything. You can have pink hair. You can have purple hair. Nobody cares.
No, that's right. There's that great song, I Almost Cut My Hair, and the great lyric in that is about letting your freak flame fly.
Yes.
So, you know, if you've got purple hair and stuff like that, that means your freak flame is still burning well, you know.
And that's true, because years ago you never saw purple hair or pink, or, you know, now you see, and you see all kinds of patterns like zebra and leopard and
Yeah, this is the great thing about Los Angeles. You know, you can really be yourself.
Yes. Yes.
You don't, you know, someone's not going to put you down because of the way that you look, or if you look a bit freaky, because just around the corner there's going to be someone that looks 10 times more freaky than you do.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah.
Well, your other song, which we're going to play, Working for the USA. So I'm going to play that now. And that is going to be, I know it's going to be good. I've listened to them, and they're really good songs. Here we go. Working for the USA by Steve Cooke. Here we go.
Working man to understand all the rich man's freedom. Yeah, it's hard for the working man to understand just how the rich man bleeds him, but he keeps on working every day. Oh, gotta feed his wife, his kids, bring home his pay. Yeah, keep on working on, yeah, tuning his radio, searching for his song, but there ain't no one singing for his soul. It seems like working men lost all control. Sing now, la 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 la. All right, I'm working for the USA. Come on, yeah, la 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 la. Working for the USA. Come on now and free my world. Yeah, it's time to ride that way. 'Cause I'm a working man. Yes, I'm a working man. And I work for Uncle Sam. Yeah, I work for the USA. For the USA. For the USA. Yes, I do. for the USA. Yeah, I'm singing la 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 la. Oh, I won't be working for the USA. I want to talk about freedom, sing about love, sing about peace. Want to talk about God, yeah, talk about freedom and love, talk about peace.
I love it. Steve, I love it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it's good to be able to talk about freedom and love.
Yes.
Working for the USA, you know.
For Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I love it. I'm so glad we got to share this with the audience, because what you have there is pretty much what's kind of going on in our world today. The people that feel like they don't have enough and they think somebody else has too much. And so it's kind of relative to today. It's a good song.
Yes, it's like when you compose, you always try and endeavor to do your best to make a piece of work timeless.
Yes.
And yes. I always believed that if you want to save the world,
Yes.
first save America.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it's
beautiful. Yeah.
Did you write it?
I did, yes.
Wow, you're excellent. I have a friend, her name is Annette Tucker. She's one of my best friends. She's a very famous songwriter. She wrote a lot of hit songs for Michael Jackson, Tony Bennett, and Tom Jones, and a whole bunch of people. She wrote big hits for a lot of people. She wrote I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night by the Electric Prunes.
Oh, wow, yeah. It'd be nice to meet her one day.
Yeah, she's amazing. You would love her. She is such a great songwriter. You should meet her. I think I'll connect you both because you will love her. She's excellent. And she will love you. And,
thank you, yeah.
She will.
Good songs, probably really need to focus on. I think times are getting pretty tough for people, and I'm working on a new song at the moment called Let the Hard Times Be the Good Times.
Oh.
Because so many people just live from paycheck to paycheck to paycheck,
Yes.
and suddenly 20 years have gone by,
Yes.
and it's been pretty hard struggle. So I sort of come to the conclusion that if you are having a hard time and it just seems to keep on going on and going on, well then, hey, might as well make it a good time.
You're right. You're absolutely right. When I was young, and this is what I think the young people don't realize, we all had to struggle. We all had to work. We didn't make money just like that. It wasn't magic. I worked 3 jobs a day when I was young, and I supported 2 infants. I struggled, and I've been working since I was 14. And I'm still working, but I love to work. This is my problem. But the great thing about America is if you work and you have a passion, you will make it.
Yeah, it's a great place to come to. It's a wonderful melting pot here. And,
Yes.
With me being half New Zealand and half British,
Yes.
I am in a situation where I can become American, and that's the promise of this land.
Yes.
So
yes.
I can be a whole American.
Yes, and you are.
Yeah.
You are. And Steve, you're working on a symphonic celebration with Led Zeppelin, aren't you, for his 50th anniversary? Not his, but for the Led Zeppelin's music for 50th anniversary?
Yes, I've had a passion for that little English rock band,
Uh-huh.
which is very well known, and it's their 50th anniversary this year. So to celebrate that, we want to do that symphonically. We've started with a string quartet and basically reproducing Page and Plant from 1995 when they work worked with the London Metropolitan Orchestra.
Wow.
So I think that's a great way to represent their music as they did, because
Yes.
Page Plant felt that's how they should interpret their catalogue. And I feel really comfortable doing that because I get to emulate Mr. Plant when he was 46, 47. So that's right, where I am at this stage of my life. I'm not really into tribute acts and trying to copy the band as they were. I think it's a lot more respectful and a lot of fun, actually, to be able to do the Page Plant show, which they did in 95. So, yes, that project is coming together, and I look forward to doing some more of that. There's a couple of videos out there of us doing the Rain Song and Thank You. And I really love how Robert Plant is seated for a lot of the numbers when he sings with the orchestra. Yeah, that's currently our idea of how to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Led Zeppelin. And I'll let all the other heavy rock guys do their wonderful interpretations of their music as well. I'm classically driven for this project and show. We'll just see how it goes. I have a real passion to be able to do it out in Germany, where they have wonderful orchestras, and the idea is to be able to pick up a new orchestra in each territory. So if you go to France, you work with French musicians, and I would dearly love to be able to have an opportunity to work with the Russians and the Chinese. And we've been looking at that. So, again, culturally, music crosses all the barriers. Like, I don't have any problems with the Chinese musicians. Hell, I'd even work with the North Korean orchestra,
Yes, exactly. Music is beautiful. It brings everybody together.
Yeah, that's right. They might live in a communist state, but you'll be remarkably surprised at how many of them have heard Stairway to Heaven.
That's right. And they forget their communism. You forget they're communist. The music just harmonizes everything.
It does, and I had first-hand experience of that when I did the rock musical, the New York Broadway version of Hair, because it was in 1989 when the wall came down in Berlin. I was just a baby, really. Very fortunate. And what I understood is that they could put that big wall up and put the barbed wire up, but when we played at the International Congress Center in Berlin, they let all the DDR passport holders through, filled up that room, one of the biggest rooms in Europe, and they were all singing Aquarius, Let the Sun Shine In. They knew all of the lyrics to every song, but back then, if you were caught with Beatles records or albums, in your basement, you were arrested and taken to prison. So that was a pretty moving experience for me to sort of understand that firsthand. So I must admit, I do have a passion to work with foreign musicians, and what better band to be able to celebrate than Led Zeppelin.
Amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you are signed with the same record company as Adam Lambert, isn't that correct?
Oh, that was years ago when I first came into America. That's how I got my green card.
Oh, okay.
I was signed to a record label called Wilshire Records. They had the singer from Journey. His name is Fleischman. And Adam was one of the singers as well. And I was also signed to that particular label. And the backing musicians were from Madonna's band and Seal's band.
Wow.
So basically we were just all hired guns singing on music that was already recorded.
That's incredible. That's wonderful. Well, I think you're amazing. I think you're wonderful. And what would you say to someone who's out there playing the guitar, trying to write music, trying to be a rock star like you are, and wants it so bad? What advice would you have for someone?
Well, it's a very good question, and I've thought about this a lot, and I was very fortunate to meet a gentleman who's been doing the PR for U2 for 30 years, over 30 years. But he's been with the band right from the beginning. So I was discussing this with him, and basically what I would say to any youth out there listening, passing it on from our conversation, the number one thing that we decided is to be authentic.
Yes.
That's the first thing. And then the second thing is to really be truthful. And the third and most important thing, which I learned from my friend Malcolm Foster from Simple Minds, is to know your limits as an artist and to not go over them. I learned that piece of, I gleaned that little accolade when I was quite young, and I've always remembered that. So they're the three things that I would pass on. And I would say the authentic part is really key, and to know your own truth, and to write from your heart, and don't try and be somebody else, you know, because hell, it's going to be 2020, you know.
I love it. It's perfect. It's perfect. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely.
Well,
now, if someone wants to buy your records, your CDs, your music, where would they go?
It's the usual suspects. You've got Amazon and iTunes, CD Baby.
Okay.
And also, if you go to my website, which is just www.steve and then hyphen, which is the minus sign, Cooke with an e.com.
Cool.
So, but yeah, if you just Google Steve Cooke musician, then I should come up number 1 or number 2.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you're number 1. You're
That's
number
right.
1 in my book.
Yes, well, I generally am, but I keep on getting knocked off that top point there by a gentleman from Goldman Sachs.
Oh.
So, yeah, I should have been like Bowie and Bob Dylan, you know, change my name.
Well, Steve, you're incredible. You're fabulous. I love your look. I love your song, how you play the guitar, and I think you're incredible. And I'm just so happy that everything is going great for you. And I'm especially happy that you let me interview you and that you came on my show to be my guest. I am so thrilled. I started out very nervous, but I'm okay now. And I thank you.
Great. No trouble at all. And if you're in town, you can come and see me playing this Friday at the Grafton Hotel on the Sunset Strip. I will be playing with my 12-string guitar, which I've worked very hard on over the years, and I've invented my own tuning on this 12-string, which I have, you know, notes and that drone. It's an interesting style. So, and I'm also joined by 2 wonderful players. I have Jeffrey Marshall on the guitar and Nick Taylor on the bass. So that's going to be a fun little gig this Friday if you're around.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to remind you about that and have you tell the audience about it. And where is it Friday?
It's at the Grafton Hotel on the Sunset Strip, not too far from the Sunset Plaza, and it's next door to the Sky Bar.
Yes, in West Hollywood.
Yes. Yeah, and the House of Blues used to be not far away, but unfortunately they've pulled that down.
That's right. It's gone.
Yeah, that was my favorite venue in the town, and I used to love to be able to play on the main stage there with a lot of great friends that I've made here in this wonderful, crazy town.
Well, it's wonderful that you got the experience, and not many musicians did, and you were there, and you are everywhere, and you are. I mean, how many people get to do all the things that you have done? It's, you know, you are blessed, and it's wonderful, and I hope to see you at the Grafton, and I hope that the audience, I will remind them and I will promote that, because I think it's important, because you're a very wonderful human being.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm continuing to, you know, keep rocking and rolling.
Yes, so, don't stop. Keep doing it.
Looking forward to the summer and working on a new record to be able to release for the Roaring 20s. I have a really good feeling about the 20s. I think we're in for a good decade.
You know, I like that. That's what your album is going to be called?
No, I'm still deciding what to what to call the record at the moment, but the new single will be "Let Hard Times Be Good Times."
Okay, I like that. That's very good.
Yeah.
Especially now, we need that. Yes.
Yes, we do, and we all need to, concentrate more on the love and less on the hate.
The world needs love. Yes, it does.
That's right. Just like the song said,
Just
John
like
Lennon.
that. Yes, the world needs love. Yes.
Yes, and
well,
what's the other one? Give peace a chance.
Give peace a chance. Yes, there's so many songs that should be out today because the people need it today.
Well, that's what we put our faith and love into of the new generation, the millennials of today. It's going to be their planet, so they need to start making their cultural revolution now. I mean, if you're 19, follow your dream and get off Facebook, get off all that stuff and be real.
Yes. Find your dreams and find out who you are, and you're not what the media says and what everybody else says. You have to search yourself and become that person and live your dream and your passion, because you're losing this time. You're losing it. And
yeah, that's true. I mean, you just have to think about, like, if you make all your music on the computer, if there's a break in the power or an earthquake and something goes horribly wrong, you'll think yourself very lucky that you learned how to play a real instrument, and analog is also a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But it's all out there for everyone to discover.
Well, Steve Cooke, you're wonderful, and thank you so much for being on my show. And I'm going to have you back because you're incredible. I just love your songs. I love your guitar playing. I love the look. I love everything. I mean, you are a genuine person, and you are truly a rock and roll star.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We keep on keeping on. Well, take care, and thank you very much for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
And
my pleasure.
And be well. Okay.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Steve Cooke. Wonderful human being. I'm so impressed. He is just wonderful. Just amazing. His music is great. You heard it. And I think that you need to go to the Grafton and see him on Friday. Don't forget, Friday in West Hollywood at the Grafton. And go to his website, Steve-Cooke, COOKE.com. And like he said, just Google his name and he'll come up. And his music is available on Amazon and CD Baby. Well, thank you for joining us. And don't forget, Dream Vacations, Vacation Instead. If you're looking for a great deal in vacations, get Vacation Instead and vacationinstead.com. Make sure you take care of that and let them do your planning, and they'll give you the best deal. And, of course, on Amazon.com, you'll find my book, Breakaway, The Road to Freedom, and The Bully Cat, which is a children's story. So I thank you so much, audience, for joining me, and thank you for following my show. Please I have to remind you, I'm on Spotify. So go to Spotify, do the search for the Nadia Sahari Show, and follow the show. Please do that. And follow me on Spreaker.com, NadiaSahariShow.com. And you will see all the podcasts there. I'm in the Apple Podcast Store, the iTunes Store, on Stitcher.com. I'm everywhere. So plug me in on Google, the Nadia Sahari Show or Nadia Sahari, and you'll find me. And go to NadiaSahari.com, and the podcasts are there as well. So thank you so much. And again, Steve Cooke, thank you. And audience, thank you for joining us. And God bless everyone, and God bless America. Good night.
You've been listening to The Nadia Sahari Show. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Plus, get your free podcast from the iTunes Store. And remember to tell your friends.